Have you surrendered your will? Your will. Have you surrendered your will? There's an old film where a woman's husband dies. He has two sons. The sons are at odds with each other. Both have a copy of the will. The bad son apparently found a more recent copy of the will because the father got into a fight with the good son over something. And in a rash emotional moment, he rewrote the will just to get back at the good son and gave everything over to the bad son. And the lawyer came at the end of the funeral to open up the will. The bad son said, "Oh, I have a more recent copy." And the recent copy did give the bad son full authority to do with the farm what he wanted to do with the mother what he wanted to do, put her in a nursing home or do whatever he wanted to do, and give the other son whatever he wanted to give the other son. And they had a fight about it, went to court, and come to think of it, the knowledge had come that the father, before he died, told the good son to look in Genesis chapter 27. They pulled out the Bible. They couldn't find anything. The son says to the mother, "Did father have another Bible?" Well, his personal Bible, not the family Bible. So he got his personal Bible out, and sure enough, on the pages of Genesis chapter 27, there is another will. This is the third one. And this one was more recent than the middle one. By this time, the father had forgiven the good son for what he had done. And he put the will back the way it was in the beginning. Everything is in control of the good son. You see, the bad son, when he thought he was in charge, was starting to make decisions to force left, right, which way they would go, what they would do, what they would sell, and what they would not. The good son didn't want to do any of that. He wanted his mother to live out her days in peace without worry in that home, as she'd always lived, not sell it for money that the bad son wanted to do. That's one example of a will that gives someone the right to do what they want, or a will that directs someone to do what they want. It's an inheritance. Conservatorship works similarly. Well, now you're taking care of grandma and grandpa. You're writing the checks. They can't determine what they're going to do. As Ecclesiastes says, when you're old, you're led. You go where you do not want to go. Someone else is in charge of you now. You've lost the ability to govern your own life, to drive your own car, to manage your own finances, to make your own decisions. Because now you're incapacitated mentally and physically. Do you surrender your will to God? And have you read his will? Have you surrendered your will? When you surrender your will, you give over the authority of yourself to make the decision. Sure, you can make your own decisions. And many times you don't want to because you make so many bad decisions. You just want God to take control. But you want him to take control, but you don't give him control. So you don't really mean it, do you? Lord, you decide. He says, I will cause you to obey my Torah in those days. Do you come to the Lord and say, Lord, here, I'm signing everything over to you. You're in charge of my account. You're in charge of the finances. Where we go, where we don't go, what we do, what we don't do, what we buy, what we don't buy. I've tried it on my own. I'm not good at decision making. Is it possible I can yield my will to you? Well, that's a different decision, isn't it? Lord, I could ask you to direct my path, and I would have to obey it. But Lord, I'm giving my body completely over to you. I will put my money where you tell me to. I'll put my feet and go where you tell me to go. I'll say what you tell me to say. I don't even want the choice of me deciding to obey you or not. Lord, I surrender my being. You're in control. I'm acting as an old man who has to be led. as an old man who's lost the ability to make any good decisions. Elder abuse is from people who could take advantage and move your elderly grandparents in whatever direction they want. Call them over the phone and tell them anything, and the grandparents believe it. They become like little children. They're actually worse than little children. Even little children have more suspicion. But you get to the point where you have to monitor every phone call that the old grandma and grandpa receive, and people that knock on their door, salesmen that come and take advantage and lie to them because they're old. God, I surrender my will. You will cause my feet to go left or right. God always has the prerogative. But that's you. Let's see what you do when I leave you in the garden and tell you, by the way, don't eat that. I'm not going to put a fence around it. I'm not going to put a leash on you. I've seen people walk with their dogs, and the dogs recognize them as the master. Without a leash, the dog goes where the master goes. And I've seen most people walk with their dogs, and the dogs do whatever they want. In fact, it's the owner that's on the leash. The dog is pulling and telling them where to go. Saw a man yesterday. He was trying to go across the street. The dog stopped and looked the opposite direction and looks at the man and goes this way with his head and pulls the man the opposite direction. I laughed and walked past him and said, I see you try to take him across the street, and he decided he wanted to go up another block. He goes, yeah, he does that. So he's walking you. You're on his leash. And the dog recognizes that. Yeah, you think you got me on the leash? Watch this. Don't you want to be on God's leash? Where he tugs, you go. When he releases you and tells you to go and run, you go. When he says stop, you stop. When he says come back, you come back. When he says no, you recognize it. When he says yes, the will of God, he will direct. The steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. They're already ordered. They're already told which way to go, where to go. Wipe the dust off your feet, who to speak to, who not to speak to. Who to rebuke, who not to rebuke. Who to bless, who not to bless. What to say and what not to say. Father, where he leads me, I will follow. Where he leads me, I will follow. Where he leads me, I will follow. I'll go with him all the way.
And that's what Yeshua meant when he said, if anyone wants to follow me, he must pick up the cross. He must deny himself. Well, surrender your will. Picking up your cross, laying down your life, agreeing to die for his name's sake, agreeing to live for his name's sake, being a follower as he went willingly to the cross, so shall we go wherever he sends us. It's not hard. His yoke is easy, his burden is light, because, well, you're gonna die either way. But whoever tries to save his life will lose it. Yet whoever is willing to lay down his life for Yeshua's sake will find it, because he is life. He is the author of it. So why would you not trust him? That's the whole point. You say you trust in Yeshua. It's not about believing, it's about trust. Belief is trust. If you believe that Yeshua is the Mashiach, that he died and God raised him from the dead, if you trust in him, you will be saved. Why? Because if you trust, you would lay down your life and follow him. And that's the whole point. It's about trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he shall direct your path. Surrender your will to him and become a part of his will and receive his inheritance.